What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. Glad that you could join me this evening. I apologize for the delay. I realized I had a major gaffe when I hit the go live button, and I had to tend to that relatively quickly. I am your host, Ed Honcho. I'm glad to be here this evening. I hope you're glad to be here this evening, because for me, it is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to get to chop it up with you each and every evening. Make sure you go to Den Show Live at the proper social media, Den Show Live, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter down below. Let's get to it. Let's talk about some things. Let's discuss some stuff. Let's see who we got joining us this evening, and then we're going to get into it. Because people want bad advice. I'm going to give y'all all the bad advice I have this evening. The Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? Culture Anubis, what's the motherfucking deal? I absolutely agree. And that's a big problem. There's a huge problem in this country today. Sweet Berry, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell, the bell has rung. Southern Style, how are you this evening? Jason S. You talking about ghosts tonight? Look, it ain't Halloween night. We ain't talking about no ghosts tonight, goddamn. Female simp in the motherfucking building. The Marquis. Let's raffle that Wrench Johnson in the house tonight. Let's see. Daytime dens, don't count on it right now. It probably won't be anytime soon if they do. Professor Trill in the motherfucking building. Miss Cartier. Always good to see Miss Cartier. I'm glad that you could join us this evening. Only one lie. What? You got your early pistachios. You get here early, you get early pistachios. Whatever do you mean? Unbeaten Sports in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us this evening. Bad and Bougie. What's the motherfucking deal? I've been missing Bad and Bougie a couple of times, and so if I miss you, I ain't dish you. Play us fuck up. So like I said, I want to talk about bad advice, but I want to talk about something I've noticed today. Something I've noticed. Interesting. And that is I was out and about today, right? Had to go run a couple of errands, do some stuff, pick up some things. Now, there's this place my old lady hates going, right? She hates going there. I don't mind it. I love it. Maybe it's my inner ratchet. Marie Lovely, Rashida Reed, what's the motherfucking deal? Rashida Reed, for those of you who don't know, organized a teacher strike in Chicago. And she said they're not letting up until, the Sideman sandwich gets put on the lunch menu. But I hope y'all are doing well. It's always good to see Miss Marie Lovely. But I was out and about today, right? And I've noticed something that I have not seen in quite some time. Or not quite some time. Maybe I've just not been looking. Maybe I have not been paying attention. Maybe it's because, like I said, I've recently, about a month ago, it's been about a month now. Maybe a little over a month. What is this? Yeah, about a month. Just a little over a month, yeah. Since I moved. And maybe it's this side of town or something else. But I've seen a lot more, and I guess you would automatically, so I don't know if there's any other religion that does it, but I think I've seen a lot more Muslim people than I've ever seen in my life. I'm like I said, I was wondering, I don't know if it's a thing. I don't know if, like I said, if it's this side of town, if there's if Rashida Tlaib is just, she's setting it off, or is it Tlaib? Is that the one? No, Ilhan. Ilhan is the one. I think they both are. But not that it's a thing, not that I care, because you don't really give a shit about the whole. It's just something I noticed today, because I went to 2 or 3 different places today, and it was just noticeable. And then so the place that I went, that I said my old lady hates, that I don't mind going, because like I said, it's the inner ratchet in me. When I used to be bored, 2 or 3 in the morning, would definitely go there to find some excitement. But the Wally, went to the Wally World today, right? Just get some basic household some necessities, toiletries and things like that. I don't think that's TMI. And for the first time, I think ever, I was checked out by someone who had like the what is it called, the hijab or something like that. like something like that. On the west, I'm on the west side. Yes. So it's something different. Maybe like I said, I'm not used to it because where I was, for those of you who are kind of more familiar with the Houston area, I was in the League City area, right? League City, not the most diverse area, not the most diverse area in the greater Houston area, I would say. Definitely a lot more diversity on this side, but oh, what we got here? Oh, I apologize. I got lost. So people, people just anyway. Just people do things right. People do things that are really awkward that I don't understand, and it's not nothing to do. Anyway, get back to like I say. So, Lake City much less diverse than the Katy area, definitely. Um, and so, you know, it's just I'm somebody sent me a message, and it's the way people do business, right? People do business awkwardly. I think if you're a business owner, why would you send a group message to all of your clientele, you know, at once? And this is like an appointment based business. So when someone replies, everybody's getting it. But then requests that they message you individually. I get it. I get it. You're trying to be convenient to, so you don't have to send the same message to everybody. But then again, like I say, when people start responding, they're automatically going to respond to it. And now you're like annoying all of your. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway. No, back to the original conversation at hand. So what we're talking about here is just to me it's a different thing. Maybe like I say, it's something new to me. And the reason why it was really really super new to me because even after I was done at the Wally World, I slid by my favorite. No, so Marie Love. That's the smartest thing in the world to do. I've been listening to an audio book while I drive, a new one. I was listening to a lot of Grant Cardone for a minute, and I've been listening to a new one, about improving your focus and when you're trying to create and do great things, or when you're trying to, it's basically expanding. What's the proper word for it? Just basically expanding your focus. How to create better focus, and it just talks about how some of people that we're familiar with, great writers and things of that nature, what they would do and how they would organize their environments and things like that to improve their ability to focus in on their work, and so I'm listening to that, and it was just talking about how the way technology is set up. And I think that's something we all know, but it's designed to make get our attention, and the less social media you have, the less bleep bloop bleeps you got going on, the better it is for your focus and your attention span. So, and the thing is, but it's like I say, it's something new to me. I just never really noticed it. But the thing is, like I said, I was going to my favorite place. Y'all know my favorite place, HEB. Why I say HEB is my favorite place? If you don't know what HEB stands for, whoever knows what my saying for HEB is, I will give you 20,000 pistachios. Whoever can say it first. Whoever knows my favorite or what HEB stands for, in my opinion, 20,000 pistachios for whoever knows that. But so I was at HEB. Professor Trio, keeping it real, I already know. But and it is true. It is true. It is always true. No, Broderick. That's terrible. That's terrible. But and so for the first time I saw one fully dressed, with the whole face mask and everything on. You know what I'm saying? And So to me, that's new. Like I said, I don't know how many of y'all, around that or see that frequently. So you may be knowing, maybe you may have grown up in that culture and that religion. I see that shit. I think somebody's finna get robbed. Like, I was like, hold on, man. Hold on. What's going down? I don't care if you're in a dress at all. You might pull a might pull a gauge from under that motherfucker. Hey, there's a lot of air under there, a lot of room under there. But, the person in the full Muslim garb, I guess you would call it, like with just where you can just see the eyes. They went like ninja mode. You know what I'm saying? And I've never really seen that up close and in person. Like I've seen, the hijabs or what I think that's what you call them. You know what I'm saying? Just want to get on statue. And for everybody who doesn't know, for me, HEB stands for Hoes Everywhere, boy. And the reason why I say that is because I was in college, and that's when I was living in Third Ward, and it would seem like every time I would go to HEB, I'd be like, damn, there's hoes at every damn HEB. Boys, there's hoes everywhere, boy. I'm like, hey, that's what HEB stands for. But I haven't said that in a while, so, that might have been an unfair joke for some, or an unfair question for some. But, look, I'm gonna give me a shirt with a little design on it. And they're gonna kick me out. I'm gonna wear that bitch every time I go to HEB. They're gonna kick my ass out. You don't work here, asshole. Get the fuck out. What do you think, you're funny? Miss Sarah in the building. Broderick in the building. But yeah, so, my thing is this. It's just different to me. And again, but I want to get into the advice. So I talked about today's show is people love bad advice. But I just wanted to share that story because I just thought it was different. Because I've seen, just like, I don't know if it's a holiday or something going on. I'm like I say, when I was driving, one almost fucking cut me off. We was like, it wasn't nothing personal, no religious beef issues, but we was about to go to war. No driving ass motherfucker. I don't know if the scarf was in her face or something. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, it was bad. I had the little one with me. I was about to set it off. Look, he ain't finna get flipped over out here. But people love bad advice. And Culture made a very good point very early. Let me see if I can still. Let me see if it's still there in the beginning. Yes. So people like bad advice when it gives them an escape to their own faults. And that is basically, in a nutshell, kind of what we're going to talk about, because people love bad fucking advice. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say this, people don't want to hear anything that doesn't make them. What you know about that Hall of Notes? Why you don't know about that Hall of Notes? Like, people will listen to anything that justifies their own thing, even though they know that it's bad. They know that it doesn't make sense, but they want to hear that what they're thinking is okay. The reason I got into this is because a couple of days ago, Ashley said, Sean in the motherfucking building. Good to see Miss Sean. That's what I'm talking about. My thing is that the other day, Miss Ashley made a reference, and she said that women just, they want bad advice. She was talking about women are being catty and things like that. And talking about, women giving each other bad advice. But I thought about it. I was like, yeah, women do love bad advice. But then I started thinking about, man, like, niggas love bad advice. Man, everybody loves bad advice. People want bad advice. I won't say bad people want bad advice, but people who don't want to face certain things and just come to certain realizations that are against maybe their personal beliefs, or, again, like I said, that requires some self-reflection, some inward inspection. They don't want to do that. They want to be told something that makes them justify continuing on the same path that they're on, right? Yeah, people only want to hear the good when there's a lot of bad. And the reason why I say this is it's super funny. For those of you who fuck with soft sports, there's a noticeable difference in how people react, because it's like soft sports primarily like a Texas channel. So it's a noticeable difference when I talk Texans, and it's good stuff. Oh, people love to hear the good stuff. People, they rock with it. They want to hear all the good stuff, the great stuff. Yes, appreciate that, Broderick. The Den is a family affair. Slick Whips, glad that you could join us this evening. And so because the Texans are maybe their favorite team, so they only want to hear the good stuff. A lot of times in soft sports, point out things that I may think are critical. The roundtable may point out things that we think are critical. Professor Trill definitely points out a lot of things that they think are critical. Some people get very upset when Professor Trill calls in. I think you have the people who are borderline insensible. You have people who enjoy it. And then you have people just because he's critical of what's going on. They get, why does he get to talk so long? Why is he on the phone? Oh, this guy, but the thing about it is, instead of disputing the stuff with facts, they get emotional, they get upset, and then they just get mad. And there's no validation to their feelings. It just doesn't make them feel good. So they don't want to acknowledge it, and they'll go on to something else. There's a certain character. I don't say his name because, it's like Candyman. You say the name 3 times and you die. So it's a certain character, and it will be death by annoyance. But a certain character that only pops up when the team wins and tries to say, well, I said this and I said this and I said this, and I was right about all of this stuff. But where were you in the losses? Because you said a whole lot of other things. The majority of the things you said were wrong, false, and incorrect. But you're never around for when you're wrong. And that's a big thing to me, accountability. If I said something completely incorrect, I will own it. I will justify. You know what? I won't justify me being wrong. I say, you know what? I was absolutely wrong about that. I eat a lot of crow. I have 2 small fake crows in the desk because I eat a lot of crow. I'm wrong about something. There's nothing fucking wrong with being wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking advice and being better than you are. But some people are so prideful. Some people are so ignorant. I think it's a form of ignorance too to not take advice, or even you don't have to take the advice, but to listen to the advice, to ponder the advice and say, well, why would someone tell me this? If I know that they're not malicious, if I know that they don't have bad intentions, they're not insulting me. They're not, demeaning me. But for some reason they said this. So why is it that they said this? There has to be a reason, right? And so that's the thing, man. And my deal is that most people just can't take that. And to me, like I said, yes, there is a sense of pride that I have. Everybody has a certain level of pride, but it's not foolish pride. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, come on, there's a lot of stuff that I've probably forgot a lot more than a lot of people will ever learn. And it's nobody's fault but my own for being stagnant and letting my brain get dusty. It is what it is. And sometimes people will say things, and I'm like, oh, wow, I forgot all about that, or whatever this may be. And then, like I said, there was a point in time in my life where I was stagnant for a while, and nobody's fault but my own. What's the saying? You don't use it, you lose it. And I own up to that. Because it's my fault. But the thing that comes with that is the ability to fix that. That's what's so beautiful about being a human being. That's the beautiful thing about being American, because if you have opportunities, and I think we take a lot of that stuff for granted. I was talking to a little one today about, opportunities of being an American. I was also talking to her about hair, a lot about hair. That's a whole different conversation for another time and place. But again, like I said, people just want bad advice. And there's so many, I guess you can't call them snake oil salesmen, because I guess snake oil would have to be a physical product. But there's a lot of people out there who are selling bad advice. Lamel, what's the motherfucking deal? There's a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest, Broderick. I don't know if I feel comfortable with you watching the den in the shower. I'm just fucking with you. You do your thing. But wolf tickets. Yeah, there you go. That works. That's actually very, very works. But it's just like, man. But people take this bad advice, and I guess a lot of it, like somebody just mentioned, experience. Lamel, I think said who just said experience? I saw somebody say experience. No, Miss Shanshan, it is a no-go. Some things had changed, and with what I had going on, and so that will not be. Hopefully, once I get a couple things lined up, maybe we will push it back to maybe next year sometime, maybe in the summertime, something like that. We'll get it all figured out. But here's my thing, right? What can you do to change that? Is that just who someone is? Does it take someone like really running head first into a wall to realize they need to take what is it? Why is it? Why do you think that is a thing? How much of this is the way people are being raised? Because, society used to be way different. And again, I know I'm talking for a minute. I'm going to talk for 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we'll open up the line. Too damn. Hey, I thought you was a hot girl. And yes, and I have pistachios, real pistachios for those of you. No, these are all for me. But but you have some people who go through the same shit over and over. I was talking to it might have been here we were talking about it. I was talking to somebody else and just told me, think about the people who are repeat offenders, the people who habitually go to jail and things like that. The people who always put the blame everywhere else, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's true. They say you get more. What is it? You get more. What do you get more flies with? Or no, you get more bees with honey. I forgot. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what to say. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a little out of there. Here you can have a little pistachio. There you go. Need that. There you go. But I agree, and I think that comes from, like I say, when I'm saying society has changed, because society used to be where kids were to be seen and not heard. You follow and you listen and take instructions, and all these other things. Now, people use their kids as props to get viral fame. People try to be friends with their kids. There's a lot of women who, I saw something that made me so disgusted, and this is something we're going to talk about one day. I don't want to focus on this right now. But women who use their sons to replace their man. To me, that is a very sick thing. But I saw this post, right? Fuck is my pen? I saw this post, and it was a chick, black chick, and I hate to say it, but I see it a lot of times. It's generally black women that I see this. She got a do-rag on this little nigga ain't but about 2, maybe, chubby as hell. She still carried this nigga around, and she's talking about, I prayed to God to give me a man's love. This is like on Twitter. Y'all know I'll be on Twitter. I'll be Twitter tough. I'm built Twitter tough. If I can learn how to fucking say it. And she posted like 3 or 4 pictures. I prayed for God to give me a man that would love me. And hey, y'all, it turned out it was my son. No, bitch. That's not how the shit works. That's not how the fucking shit works. It does not work like that. Now, again, and so you have a lot of motherfuckers. I seen one and be like, it was another one, and he was a little bit older. My kid looked like he was about 6 or 7. Like I say, these kids want to wear fucking Oshkosh bagosh and fuck up some shoes. Yeah, I'll be trying to have the kids dressing too fly to be mad when the kids fuck the clothes up. No, I ain't find my pen. I think it's in my pants somewhere. I have a pen, and I have another one. I don't want to use it though, because you use it, you lose it. It's my ear. I don't know. Look, sometimes I don't know if it's a dread or if it's a pen. Oh, there that bitch go right there. Hold on one second. Look, let me cut the cam off. Y'all can still listen to me. But that bothers me. And another one I saw, the chick was like, kid like say maybe 6, 7, maybe 8. She got him dressed up like a little man, and and they taking pictures. They still have Olin Mills. I ain't seen Olin Mills in quite some time. They dressed up taking pictures and shit, and there we go. And she kissing him all in the mouth. Now look, there's nothing wrong with. I don't know. I just think it's weird. After a certain age, to be kissing your kids all in the mouth. I think it's weird to be kissing your kids in the mouth in the first place. Cheeks and all that. But I guess if you're a mother, it's something different. But when you got this little nigga, you got matching clothes on with this little nigga, and you matching units, and you doing all this, and you just got this nigga looking like a little dude. It's just like, this is awkward. But you have a lot of this shit happen. Yeah, and I find that a problem. I think that's only in our community too, where we do certain things, especially like I say especially young black boys, but there's no real rite of passage in the community. Like the Jewish people, they got with the fucking bar mitzvahs and shit. And you Mexican, you 15, you grown shit. You get the fucking the odele. What is it? The quince. I mean, that's for the girls, but I'm sure at a certain age they start treating men like adults. In the black community, you 13, you better start selling some dope and take care of this house, little nigga. Your daddy locked up. You better sell some dope and be a man. Now, being facetious a bit, but at the same time, certain aspects of our community, and if we're talking about the all-encompassing community, there are people who are promoting that kind of activity. I'm not saying any of you lovely ladies in the den, you're too classy for that. The den ladies are too classy for that nonsense. But I'd be a lie if I told you that this type of shit wasn't happening. I would be a lie if I told you I didn't see some of this shit firsthand. There was a chick at one point in time that I was somewhat talking to, but I just looked at the way that she had some older children, kids. They were high school age. She had kids really, really young. And just the way that she dealt with them, and then they're soft. They were just some soft ass little niggas. Like, they was all right. It was weird. She did like everything for them. And like I said, one of the little niggas went to college, and he told me, man, they're out here gangbanging at the college. And she went and picked him up like after the first day of college.
Sarah donated $5. Donate. Don't be a sensitive Sally.
Appreciate the love, Jess. Yeah, don't be a sensitive Sally. Donate. And my thing is like, that's the crazy thing about it. Like when this nigga was out there a day. Center took me, they're gangbanging out here. They wasn't fucking gangbangers, well fake ass nigga. They ain't doing nothing. You're a little JUCO. Like go man. Like you gotta pass the test. You gotta man up. You gotta do some things on your own. But what happens is you can't throw him in there, right? Because you never tested him. You've never given him a challenge, and he's never had to face anything. Give him everything that they want because you're making up for either things you don't have, you're missing out on. And again, I think those type of women have problems when that son decides to move on and try to find him a woman and try to get him a wife or whatever. Those are the moms that always end up beefing with the chick because they just feel like no one's ever good enough. They almost view their son like their man, and so it's a problem, disgusting type shit. And I know this. I went off of bad advice. Y'all know how we doing it. Then we start off talking about one thing. We're gonna cover a whole bunch of shit. But let me open up the line, man, because I've been talking for a long time. I've been talking on for a long time. Man, look, I don't think have y'all seen that fucking, I can't remember the dude's name. It was like Star Pitchy or Star Poochie or something. And this motherfucker had a fucking, he was wasted in the fucking shower on like a karaoke machine. But he was rapping his little heart out. And the shit was kind of jamming. Like, it was kind of jamming. I can't lie. Like, the little shit was jamming. It went viral for a little bit. I don't know if they put it on World Star or some celebrity posted it. But it's been a while. But that shit was fucking hilarious. It was super fucking funny to me. But let me switch a couple of things around. And there was something else that was on my mind that was more related to bad advice. But, people loving bad advice. People... Oh, what's the other thing? Yes, ask holes. I'm going to open up the line right after this. People who ask you for advice, and you actually do give them good advice, but then they don't ever use it. You know what I'm saying? That's bothersome, too. Like, somebody comes and asks you for advice. You give them the advice. You reach deep down into your soul and you give them the very best, most honest advice that you can provide, right? And then what do? They fucking don't fucking follow it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you still in the mix there. How's Professor Trill not in the top 10? What am I missing? That is interesting. How does I don't even know. Sweetberry just be on some. I think anybody can do top 10 points. And top 10 points is cool. But if you want to know who is super trill, you gotta see who really kick it with you, man. Oh well, Sweetberry's still there. She there too. So you can't fault her for that. How is DeMarque still in the top 10? DeMarque ain't ever here. He's never in the mix. You know what I'm saying? How? Oh, you gave all your pistachios away? Oh, okay. I don't DeMarque, I don't know. He got something going on in cahoots with somebody. Got fake burner accounts and shit going on. But let's open up the line, man. Let's talk to the den folk. Let's see what's on your mind. Let's see how y'all feeling. Give me 1 second while I do this. I'm gonna actually take myself off the screen while I eat some of these real pistachios and steal some fake pistachios. All right. But yes, those people. And so, how do you deal with people like that, right? Who ask for advice, you know, it might make sense. It might make sense, Josh. You know, they do have similar personalities and characteristics. 100K. Pistachio socialist over there. Soul Better, what's the motherfucking deal? I was thinking about Soul Better the other day. You know, that accent. No, I didn't. Oh, you posted it in the comments? Okay, I gotta go back and check the comments. No, I didn't. I hadn't checked the comments on that. So I gotta go back and check the comments. No, I definitely will. All right, give me a second. Let me boot the. Well, Isley. You gotta see what y'all gotta do is, man, y'all gotta get out there and get gangster and get in the arena like Strawberry or Sweetberry. I don't know why people say Strawberry. Sweetberry be out there. She don't care. If you brand new, look, you could slide in the den. This is how it goes. You slide into the den, right? And you can say, hey, this is my first time catching the show live, or hey, I'm a first time viewer. The very next message is from Sweetberry, challenge, new den person. That's how the fucking goes. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
You know it's Bell, and you know I'm going to get it in on the first round.
Gotta get it in. Miss Bell. The bell has rung. What's the motherfucking deal, Miss Bell? How are you feeling this evening? What's on your mind?
I'm feeling pretty good. I actually like the topic. Mm-hmm. I do think that there can be bad advice. However, I think more often than not, advice is subjective. So you take what you need and you leave the rest, because sometimes it might not apply to that person. And you're right. I have given some people some really good advice, and they just went in a completely other direction. But what I had to realize is once I gave it away, they dealt with it the way they wanted to. And if they were a dumbass about it, that was on them. Yeah, and that's really all we can do when we're giving advice to somebody is just, hey, here's an option you didn't have before, and let it go. Because I know that I've been handed advice and I wasn't ready to hear it, or I used it later on. So it's not sometimes that it can be good or bad. Sometimes it's just friggin' timing. And sometimes people are just brick walls and it doesn't get through, and they'll hit their head on the refrigerator or the wall or the bricks or whatever until they've turned this shit around.
I agree. Yeah, I could say that too. I've probably had some delayed advice usage in my day, a time or two.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Our parents, they plant seeds that, shit, sometimes we're not ready to hear that stuff as teenagers. And then when we're young adults, it's like, damn, didn't my parents say X, Y, and Z? And you're like, yep. But, you know, as you know, with raising a little girl, you'll hear your parent in your head and go, do I want to really give that advice? And sometimes you'll hear your parent come out of your mouth, or you'll second guess yourself and say, you know what, I didn't like the way that lesson turned out. I can change that. And believe it or not, it takes a lot more energy to change something from the direction that you're going in with either a new piece of advice or a new wave of where to go than it does to just stay even keel with what you're doing. What's that old saying? It's easier to do what you know than what you don't. But yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on bad advice, because if somebody is being genuine, then they're going to give the best advice they can. It doesn't mean the person receiving it is either ready for it or it's going to work for them. So that being said, are you still eating them damn pistachios?
Yes, they're delicious. I'm a pistachio addict. There's a reason that pistachios are the stream currency of choice.
I can totally believe that. So, any other kind of topics? I know there was a couple things that were said, but I wasn't really sure.
I was talking about the other things I kind of mentioned were, today seeing a lot more people in Muslim attire, and then women who kind of treat their children or their sons like their man, and that
Well,
issue.
as a person who's a widow and my oldest child is my son, my responsibility is laid upon me to make sure that he becomes a grown man so that he can marry his fiancée, which he has. It's not my job to keep them home. It's my job to raise them so they're grown, and teach them to make sure that they're at a point of flying, successfully launching, as they say, I'm not going to say, my kids are young. It doesn't mean that I don't have a bone or two to pick with my future daughter-in-law. But as far as my son goes, no, he needs to be his own man. He needs to do his own thing. And I kind of, for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm at an age and have some wisdom with some of the bad experiences that I've had that I'd like to try to give some good advice. Whether anybody listens to it or not, who the hell knows? It's all going to be subjective to what they need in their life at that time. And if they don't, that's okay too. It doesn't hurt my feelings whatsoever, But you know what? Trill usually lays it on the line, and he's very genuine. And I think that that's important to understand, that he comes at it from just being pure honest. I'm not saying he's not right in our face with it, but that's just his personality, and that's fine. That's cool. Have you ever gotten a piece of advice that you thought at the moment it doesn't work, but time down the road it did?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes we have to grow into the advice that somebody's getting to us, because I've said to myself, yeah, I'm not ready, I ain't doing it, and then 2 or 3 weeks later I revisit it, and it was the right thing to do. So personally, I think that there's more right advice or good advice than there is bad advice. It's only bad advice when you know it's the right thing and you're not making that choice for yourself. And you're holding your own self back from somebody wanting to give you a hand up or a help out, and kind of putting a wall in front of it. That's when it becomes bad advice, because you're choosing not to do something that can better you as a person or your situation.
So you kind of have the choice of making it, whether it's good advice or bad advice, if you don't make the right choice. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's all about accountability. Anybody can say anything as far as advice goes, and when we choose to take it and make it our own, it becomes our responsibility to how we've chosen to work that particular piece of advice. My mom can say, hey, sweep the floor, and I could tell her, I really want to tell her to go to hell, but I know common sense tells me I need a place to stay, so I'm going to sweep the damn floor. Now, if I do it right away, there's going to be a whole lot less grief if I do it 2 days from now. So how I choose to deliver that, the choice of what I need to do, is it becomes me. It becomes that person's. We have to own what and shape the advice that's given to us, because it is individual. Would you follow somebody's road, or would you want to be your own individual?
I think there's an extent, you take the paved path, but then, there's a part where you have to deviate off that path to kind of discover a few things that are most suitable for yourself. So I think you could follow people up to a point, and then that's where you got to recognize where you are your own individual, and you kind of got to do your own thing.
This is my favorite example. My sister, I have a twin sister, and we're about a minute apart. And we both grew up in the same home. Now, both of us followed different roads. I have 2 children. She has no children. She was married for a long time. So was I. there are similarities within our relationship and going down the same path. Now, we both had the same parents, but yet we've led different lives. And that's kind of the way I've come to look at advice about that, is you can have the same lessons given to you, but you take them and put them to use differently.
So, were you, what is it, fraternal or identical?
Yep.
Fraternal?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my mom is a fraternal twin, and her twin had twins. There's like 6 sets of twins on one side of the family.
Okay.
And my dad was a twin.
Oh, yeah, y'all got the gene, the
Oh,
twin
yeah,
gene.
let's not go there. But they're all individuals. It's just, and the funny thing is if you look at both sets of twins, it really is, they grew up in similar households, and most of them are very, very different. So you can all be raised together and have one turn out really good and one turn out really bad, or both of them turn out, okay. But that's kind of the point with advice, whether you take it and choose to get on a different path and a different road, you have to own what you're saying and you're doing. Any other questions?
No, I think that's all I have for this evening.
All right. Well, I'm glad I get to start this night going, and hopefully we get a lot of calls in.
Yes, ma'am. Well, as always, Miss Bell, yes, I appreciate you for getting the party started. And as you know, the bell has rung. Class is in session. I thank you for calling in.
All right, night.
All right, good night. Make sure Miss Bell gets her stachios. Well, I think we learned something new there. I didn't know Miss Bell was a twin. So there's Miss Bell Southern Style and Miss Bell Northern Style. Let's see. That's a great question. Not your question, female pimp. That's a stupid question. The only one lie. That's a great question, and I do believe I absolutely know for a fact mothers treat their kids differently due to different fathers. I think the experience that they had with the father plays out to how they treat him, especially if the child looks like the father. You know what I'm saying? No, nice to female pimp. Why would I do such a thing? Pimping ain't easy, so I can't be nice. She's chosen a hard life. She got to deal with it. But because Miss Bell starts the calls, when she starts off the calls, I say the class is in session. So if she was like the last call, like Jay Dizzle usually is, or somebody usually is, Rashida or somebody like that, then I would say class is dismissed, because then that would be the end of the stream or something like that. But generally, Miss Bell is the first caller, so class is in session. So let's start talking. Let's talk about some shit. Pimp, female pimp. Look, I don't know how y'all do it in Sacktown, but you on some bullshit. That shit was funny though, Josh. I think it was funny. I think I'm funny. Why do I put the black callers last? That's so racist, Heidi. Yeah. You could always span that. Somebody is calling the old den line. Make sure you call the new number, because the number has changed recently. The new number will be on the screen, 855-948-0369. But no, I do believe that there are parents that treat their children differently. Now, me and my sister had different fathers. My mother was married 2 times. And I don't think she treated us differently. I don't think she treated us different. Like as far as I know, she always treated me really good. Now the thing was kind of different because, like I say, we were 11 years apart. So there was that. She got married again. Then, like I say, my sister though didn't care for my pops too much. So there was a couple of years we were apart. Then we were all kind of back together, and then oh, here we go. And but then, like I say, she passed not too long after that, and then it was kind of me. So it was like we were almost solo children at different ages. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
What up? What up?
What's the motherfucking deal? What is on?
Good, Honcho.
No, cooler. What's on your mind this evening, man? Hold on, wait, hold on. Who this is? Who this is?
That is D-Love, Honcho.
Okay, I was tripping for a second. I was like, hold on, wait. I thought it was someone else. I was like, hold on, wait. I had to. D, where you been at, D Love? I know you said you was gonna be out of pocket for a minute. Good to hear from you, D Love. How you doing this evening, man?
No, it's good to be back. I'm just sick of the shenanigans that go on in the military. Man, it's almost here, but like I said, it's good to be back, and it's good to see streams again. And I think you've been active lately, so I'm guessing that you back to the regular routine and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. For the most part, yeah, I would say yes. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah, hello?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would say for the most part.
I haven't been tuning into the South Sport as of lately, but I can already assume that it hasn't been that good.
No,
the last weekend.
It's been the most positive show on YouTube.
Don, what's up? What's the topic tonight? I called to check in with you.
We're talking about people wanting bad advice. We also talked about, again, my personal experience today, seeing more people wearing Muslim attire than I've ever seen in my life. And, oh, Josh with the zinger, A+. And then, moms who treat their sons like their boyfriends or their men or whatever. A couple of different things we're discussing.
All right, so what do you mean when you say people want bad advice?
Because people want to feel good about the things that they do, so they don't really want you to correct them on their actions. People will ask you for advice, but in reality, want you to encourage them to continue doing the nonsense that they're doing, or that people will ask you for advice and you can give them good advice, and they will not take it, and they'll still go do the same stupid shit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like when people give you when they ask for advice, but then you don't give them the advice that they expect you to give. Is that what you're talking about?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, it's just like what I'm saying is like people will ask for advice, and you can tell them the right thing, and then they won't take it. But if you told them to continue doing the nonsense they're doing, keep dating the trash person, like somebody say they come to you for relationship advice, right? And this is a thing that happens. And you can tell the person that you're fucking with is a terrible person. You should probably not be fooling with them or doing that. Some niggas I've told that to homeboys, and they continue fucking with. They get even closer with the chick. Like it was a particular homeboy I had, and I told him it was a chick he was dating. I was like, man, that chick is not what's up. Like I'm not a person that just likes to slander people and just talk down on people for whatever. Knew who the chick was, knew about her history, had own personal experiences, whatever. And he was telling me, man, yeah, I'm starting to date this chick, such and such. What do you think about her? I'm just like, man, I'm your partner, right? I'm one of your good friends, right? He's like, yeah. So all I'm going to tell you is, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
and so then, come to find out, this nigga went all in over the summer, going even harder. And the next time I see him, yeah, me and such and such are a thing now. I can't help but laugh about it because I told you not to do it, and then the entire time, she playing on him, cheating on him, doing this, that, and the third, and fooling around and fucking around, blatantly, like in his face type shit. And you still falling behind. And it was a very bad incident with this chick that I almost happened to be involved in. One of the most embarrassing events in my life. I was ashamed to be associated with this thing, but and so I had to prove some stuff to him, and blatantly proved it to him in his face that this chick wasn't any good, and he still went back and kept fucking with the chick. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like people,
I think he just have like an issue with his. I think he just have an issue with maybe his self-esteem or self-worth and stuff like that. I think it's something that he needs to work on himself before he consider getting into a relationship like that.
yeah, but I mean, it could be. You could be absolutely right. It could have been a self-esteem issue, but I mean, at the same time, though, like I say, you give somebody that advice and they don't take it. And again, you try to warn them, hey, this is going on. Hey, this is not, and they continue to go head first. But and that's what I'm saying. So he would have probably rather me say, yeah, go get with that chick. Yeah, she's cool. She's this, and encourage him because he was going to do it anyway. So what I'm saying is that he didn't take the advice. So he would rather have had bad advice because he went the wrong direction anyway. But it kind of is what it is.
Okay, yeah. Now, that was a good analogy. So as of right now, my cousin he graduated high school about a year ago, and he's still trying to figure it out. And now he's considering joining the military, and I've already tried to give him advice. Like mostly not to go to the military, but his mom say he out here running the streets and doing everything. So now supposedly he's considering to reserve. And I try to warn him about the recruiters because the recruiters will tell you anything they want you to hear. Like I said, the primary goal is to recruit soldiers. Now, not all of them. They'll tell you the truth. That they're kind of, it's just the small stuff that they won't, the small stuff that they will say that could mislead you and stuff like that. Or maybe they'll just flat out lie to you. Like, you never really know. It just depends on where you go. But I told him my experience, and like I said, his experience can be different from mine, and it just depends on how he. It depends on how he interpret all the BS that comes along with it. But like I said, I wish him the best, and I gave him advice pretty much not to do it. And if he was to do it, I encourage him to go to the Air Force or the Navy. Like I said, he's a grown man, and he can make his own decisions. So we'll see how that goes.
So D-Love. So what you're saying is you're putting this entire country at risk by discouraging people from joining the Army or the armed services? Is that what you're saying?
Honcho, so many people now, especially here at Fort Bliss, they have more people ETS out of the Army than ever before. The leadership here is horrible, and I wouldn't say that it's horrible. I mean, some part of the leadership is toxic, but it's a lot of like the higher ups don't really know what they're doing. It's kind of like the Texans front office. Like it is a clown show right now. So I mean,
So okay, but the changes that have happened, because I know I've heard a lot of people. I've never been in the military, never been in the armed force, anything like that. But I've heard a lot of people say that things have changed a lot from what it used to be. Do you think that it's the military itself or the culture of society, and so the people who are joining the military are much different than what it used to be? Do you think that has an impact on it, or is it the military itself?
yeah, you are right. The military is changing. I mean, it's not like it's advertised on TV, and it's not like it was years ago. Years ago, NCO gave it I don't know, tell you to get your fat ass up and do PT, but they can't say that now because they'll get EO and stuff like that. Look, me personally, like I'm not fat or all that stuff, but if an NCO curse at me, I'm gonna curse at them back regardless of the consequences. I don't play that BS. Yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of different men and women joining the military. So that could be what's making a change. But the suicide rate, especially here, it's been pretty high. Like it's been ridiculously high. So we can. I guess we can try to build people up physically, make them physically tough, but we can't really. It's hard to address the scars and the battles that we don't see people face and stuff like that. So the military kind of did shift its tactics and stuff like that to try to, take better care of the soldiers. So I mean, it's not that the army really changed. It's just they kind of shift their gears. Like whenever they approach the soldiers and stuff like that, that could be dealing with depression and like all kinds of stuff that we can't really see.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, try to answer your question, but as far as now, I'm gonna say it out here. This is one of the worst units in the army, and I was just at this training, that kept me out of the gym for a while, and I ended up running into one of my older buddies that I went, to training with. He's at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I haven't been there. He told me that it was just as worse. He told me they catered the women because we went to the National Training Center. That's a training that nobody want to go to. Like if you're not in the military, y'all don't know what it is. We call it NCC for short. It's basically a pre-deployment stuff like that. But the only problem is, it was just a lot of people they sent there that didn't need to go. Like me, I'm not gonna deploy because they're gonna deploy in March. They're finna go out to Bulgaria, something like that. And, they had a guy out there who only had 30 days left in the army. He could have been out clearing and getting ready to prepare for the civilian world. Yeah, they had him here because like it's a numbers game. It's just to make if you're an officer in the military, you send people to NCC, it'd be better for your like OER to say, I sent 12,000 soldiers to NCC rather than like 2,900. So that is what it is. So like I say, the army it's beneficial and stuff like that. You got college, you got there's other stuff to put on your resume, but it's just so much BS that for me, it kind of negated it. Because I was probably better off going to college for good. So that's the advice that I'm trying to give my cousin. I just want him to keep an open mind, and I just want him to be aware of how much BS that he can tolerate.
So if you'd have went directly to college, what would you have majored in?
I was gonna major in communication. That was the original plan. Like I was gonna go to Lamar University, but we had, I had these recruiters come out who they gassed me up and stuff like that. So they did a really good job at convincing me to join the military. All right, now I'm not, to be honest with you, I don't have hindsight vision, so I can't tell if I would have went to college, this is what would have happened. Because for me, I think if I would have went to college, I would have ended up in debt and all this other stuff, and I probably would have been saying to myself, I should have went to the military.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going with that because that's what I see. I see a lot of people in college, saying they chose the wrong major or they can't find a job in their field or whatever's going on with that. Now they're loaded with a bunch of debt from student loans and things like that they're going to be paying off the next 20, 30, 40 years, and they're saying I should have went and did something. I should have done something else.
I also told my cousin about going to college. I told him like if he didn't know what he wanted to do right out of high school, I told him not to go to college. Because college just kind of put pressure on people, to figure out what they want to do fresh out of high school, and that's not the kind of pressure that he needed to be dealing with. So, I kind of advised him to do trade school. Like the number one advice I gave him was not to do what I did because I hated my life for the last few years, and I didn't want that on him or anybody in my circle or stuff like that. So the advice I gave him was just not to go to college if he didn't have it figured out, because all he was gonna do was like up debt and stuff like that. I mean, but right now he's training to become a correction officer. That could be some people consider it a dangerous job, but he definitely can handle it. I didn't say he got the job yet, but he's training to become it, and I'm pretty sure he might get money. So, in a sense, Honcho, I'm kind of glad that he didn't come into the military. But yeah, I'm also glad that he's doing something with his life. He didn't go to college, he didn't rack up that debt. Now he's gonna, he's gonna make his money until he figure out what he want to do as a long-term career.
Okay. I had a cousin who was a correctional officer. He was real cocky, got his ass stabbed. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, with your people. You just got to be careful. It can be a very dangerous job if you have the
I'd be much more concerned. Like, I'd be much more concerned if it was one of the females in my family trying to do all that.
Yeah, well, don't go worry. Go work in a women's prison. Then you got it's going down then.
No, I hate to have a woman in this family to, try to do all that. But I mean, not saying they can't do it. I mean, it's not. I ain't trying to be sexist. I ain't that. It's just, my family personality. Yeah, Hunter, I mean, yeah, anything else you got for me, Hunter?
No, so exactly how much longer do you have before you're out?
My contract ends in January. I'll be getting out on transition leave. My original contract, like my actual contract, will end in March 18th of next year. But I have so many leave days saved up, so I can use that as transition leave, get out 2 months early. So yeah, right now, I just need to go ahead and get stuff together, try to clear, get ready to turn in all my gears. So I think number one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is getting out without having a plan. Because I came into the military fresh out of high school, so I didn't have. This would be my first time taking on a real world as a civilian. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and try to do. Prepare myself to become a civilian. Again, like walking out of the military is like getting my life back. And that's also another thing. I mean, you sign up, you relinquish so much rights coming into the military. Like, I can't really give my opinion about our president right now. But first, I can say I can say all the good things about him. I can tell the world why I support him, but I can't really point out his flaws and say like, I can't be anti-Trump at all. Like, he's our commander in chief, so we have to. I mean, stuff like that. Like, we relinquish some of the rights that we have as a civilian. And be like, go ahead and get out the military again. I give them all the like. Honestly, hey, when I get out the military, I'm gonna talk so much about these units that I can't say right now.
So why is it? So what is it that you're? Well, I guess you can't say it now because you're still in the military. But I mean, why is that? Why not just leave it behind and move on to the next segment of your life? You've successfully accomplished that, and then you can move on to greater things.
Right now, so yeah, what I mean by like, I'm gonna talk some of the trash. I mean, I probably did do that out of proportion, but I'm saying, just telling all the younger people in my family, like, just giving them all the pros and cons, and just let them make that decision. Like with my cousin, I mean, we got younger people in the family that's also gonna, graduate. Like my mom want my little sister to go to the Navy. She got, so she feels that she's undisciplined. So like I said, I'm just gonna tell them like all the cons that their recruiters probably won't tell them. That's what I mean when I say I'm gonna talk all them. But I'm not just gonna go like on the internet and shit like kind of blaspheme the military. You're right, Andrew. There's no point in doing that. But no, that's what I meant by that.
Okay. All right. Well, no, I mean that's all I got. Just had a couple of questions about it, but like I said, it's good to hear from you, love, man. I'm glad to know, well, for the most part, that everything is all right. Like I say, you basically on the final countdown. Couple of months.
That's a good way to look at it.
Have you sent the keyboard home though?
I still haven't seen my dad that I had. I'm
You can get your ass whooped over that keyboard.
Not yet.
You'll be all right, man. It's a present to yourself for, accomplishing something. So they can't be mad at you for that.
Exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and get off on you. Calling in to check in. But I appreciate you taking my call and check.
All right, man. It's good to hear from you, D-Love, man. Call in again soon.
All right.
Always good to hear from D-Love, man. Like I said, I hadn't heard from him in a while. I know he said he was taking a small hiatus for a minute, and then I'm glad that he's back. What's the motherfucking... That's an AK. What's the motherfucking deal? Well, you got the what's the motherfucking deal already. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't rock mine. I'm going to rock mine maybe tomorrow. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Ashley.
Ashley. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, Ashley. What's on your mind this evening?
Just that people want to hear what makes them feel good.
Oh, you know what? Ashley is the perfect person to talk about giving bad advice. She deliberately gives her friends bad advice. And this is part of the reason because you did start this. It generated off something you said maybe a week or so ago or a couple of weeks ago. And then it turned into this whole thing. But so why do you think that? What he says hanging up with you know. Okay. So why do you think that people want to hear bad advice? Why do you think they need it? What is that?
I think they just want to hear what they want to actually do. Like, they just want somebody to co-sign, like, oh, should I date this guy that's no good for me? You know, like, dumb stuff like that.
Okay. So, you told us about, and for those some of y'all may be new, so maybe y'all may not have heard. Share the story of the bad advice that you gave a friend one time. For those who may not have heard it, could you share the story of the bad advice that you gave a friend one time, deliberately, for those people who may not have heard it?
Well, she was asking me, should she date this guy? And he's like an obvious drug addict. Like, he acted like one and he looked like one. And I'm like thinking, like, no, you shouldn't. But she never takes my advice anyways. But she just kept asking. So I'm like, whatever. You should try to make him your man. And she did.
And then you say you think now she's on drugs now?
She like dabbled a bit
Wow.
for a while.
She's a Debbie Dabbler, huh? Okay.
Yeah. She's an idiot.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is that what she wanted was she wanted to date the guy anyway. She just wanted you to give her the validation. Why can't people just make those decisions on their own? Why do they, if they know that's what they really want to do? Why do they?
I don't know. I don't know why they want that, because it's like, maybe it's if you have a certain personality, like, you would take others' input that serious. But I'm like, I would never ever, like, I tell her to do the craziest shit, and she'll be like, oh, okay. She'll be like, oh, is this crazy? And I'm like, no, that's not crazy at all, but it's like the craziest thing ever. And I'm just like, no, you should totally do it. I don't know.
Ashley is an enabler. She enables people to do the bad things that they do. That's tough.
I am.
So what about yourself though? Have you ever received or asked somebody something, but they either gave you bad advice or you kind of really wanted to go? Maybe they gave you good advice, but you went the bad route anyway.
Like, they gave me good advice?
But you didn't quite take it.
Because my parents are like family.
What kind of advice did your parents give you? You have an example of something that they gave you that you didn't understand it then, that you kind of learned from it later on?
Just like when I was, getting married, they were like, you're too young. I'm like, whatever. I do what I want. And it did not work out.
So how do they feel about it? I mean, like, in the end of that, how do they feel about that?
ESOLATEAK donated $30. Keep it up, Honcho.
Like, when
love
it
the
didn't
den.
work out, how did
Appreciate
you
the
feel,
love,
or
that's
how
what
did
I
you feel they did it?
Try not to destinate Kate. Like, how did they after it all kind of went sour, or maybe after the marriage? How did they respond? Did they care? Did they kind of say, "I told you so," or how was the response to that?
Oh, they acted like, they're my family, so, and we're close, so it's not like, it wasn't like, oh, I told you so, or like in your face, like, oh, I just knew it wasn't going to work out, you should have listened to me. Like, nobody said any of that.
Okay. I would have said I told you so. I'm as cold as ice.
You what?
I would have said I told you so. You never miss up a good opportunity to tell somebody I told you so. I mean, I don't know how often, you get them. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the type of people you hang around. But you just, you don't have to rub it in. You say it one time, but you never pass up a good opportunity to say, you know what, I told you this was going to happen, and you didn't believe me. So hey, you got to do that sometime.
That's so petty.
Yeah, before I was ever Ed Honcho, I was Petty Eddie. So and so that's how I come when I got to be as petty as possible. But okay, so how did they feel about that guy? I mean, him being an older gentleman. How did your pops feel about it?
Just that it was like weird, kind of creepy.
Well, and now here's the real question: how old is your pops?
He's like normal age. Like, what do you mean? Is he the same age as him?
Yeah, is he like compared to
Yeah.
they're like the same age?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So they sit down and have conversations about the good old days together?
During the Civil War. No.
No, it's not. Yeah, soft sports is all I told you so. Brandon was talking about one of my Twitter accounts. And the only reason I get on that Twitter account is to tell people I told you so. And stuff. There's no other point in me getting on that. And then, bad promotion. Bad promotion, I told you so. That's all Soft Sports Twitter account is. It's a terrible. It's probably the worst Twitter account on Twitter. There's no purpose for it. But anyway, so they didn't ever really associate. They didn't ever really have conversations. I mean, was it ever awkward? Did y'all ever have a family reunion or something? And you brought this gentleman?
Fuck no. He's like so crazy. No. Mm-mm.
So I'm hearing nothing but negatives about this gentleman. He's crazy. He's old. He's got the penis broken. And all these things. It's just nothing. So what was it that you saw in this person to marry them? Were you just being rebellious? I mean, what was it that made you say, hey, this is a good idea to marry this guy?
There's reasons.
Reasons?
Yeah.
Were they financial reasons?
Yeah, but it's not like I wasn't living on my own and struggling, so it's not like, at the time I was still living with my parents, so that wasn't that big of a benefit. But yeah, he had a lot of money.
Oh, okay. I fucking love Ashley. Oh man. Okay. So I mean, look. So you got you get the finances, you get the side friend, you're living it up. So, I mean,
No.
He's what?
He's crazy. That wasn't even.
I mean, so what do you mean when you say crazy? Like, what do you mean? Like senile?
No, stalking. I would be somewhere, and this guy would come, out of nowhere.
Oh, like Freddy or Jason type crazy. Out of nowhere?
No, he's not that simple crazy to where he would he's just so fucking nosy. I've never met anybody nosier.
Oh, so he's just a nosy non-threat?
Not he's gonna kill me. Just huh?
So he's like a nosy non-threat?
Yeah, he's non-threatening.
Oh, shit. Fuck him now.
But just the thing is about me, and I'm gonna totally sound like trash. I like to cheat in peace. Do not fuck up what I have going on. Not even that I was cheating a lot, but with my friend, I just don't want him blowing up my spot. Anyways, that was annoying. Anyways.
Liking to cheat in peace, huh? That's
At the time.
that's a first. I mean, I understand. I was
Adopted.
I was a cheater at one point in time.
Not
So
even
a long time.
right. Like, even like,
Did it add? It didn't add right. I gotta do it manually. That's one for the record books. I'm telling you, I love talking to Ashley. Ashley's one of my favorite calls every day. So brutally honest. You gotta love it. Okay. So I mean, so what eventually, like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back in that situation?
I ended up marrying the guy, so then that, like, that fucking sucks.
So wait. Okay. I'm confused. This is a BET story. I'm confused.
I know, right? Like, it just seems like such drama, but
So you end up marrying the the assistant cheater, the cheatee. I don't know, what would you call him. The person you were
'cause
cheating with.
we weren't like, because we weren't sleeping together. We were just like hanging out at the time before we got married. But still, if I want to hang out with somebody, I don't need you showing up. Anyway, so that got annoying. Then I got remarried. I got married to somebody else.
So how long did the first marriage last?
Huh?
So how long did the first marriage last?
Probably like 4 years.
Okay. Did you get a divorce settlement?
No.
Come on, Ashley, you got to be on your toes. Okay, so you divorce that guy. You get with the new guy, the friend, even though you weren't fucking with him. I don't know. Is it technically cheating if you're not fucking with him? I mean, or were you flirtatious with him?
I mean, I guess like an emotional. I mean, it really wasn't emotional. I was just wasting time, but.
No.
I mean, I guess
don't
it
waste
turned
my
out
time.
to be an emotional thing. That sounds terrible, but anyways.
All right, so okay. Some people say they like hot tea. These pistachios are delicious. Okay, so you went with the secondary dude. How long did the secondary dude last?
Not very well. I mean, it's like not very long.
Not very long. Now, you said you just had a friendly friend that just moved away recently, a few months ago. Now, was this during the second situation?
Yeah, it was during the. Well, it was like. So then I got back with my first husband, and then that's when it started.
I don't know. You ain't supposed to go back. We're supposed to move forward here. We're supposed to be making progress.
No, I know, but
this is a very interesting story. But yeah, okay. So if you had to give someone marriage advice, we're talking bad advice. If you had to give someone marriage advice, what would you tell them?
do what you want. Like, don't let anybody hold you back, even if it's your spouse.
Okay.
That's bad advice. Okay. But seriously, like, do what makes you happy.
Okay.
I would never sacrifice my happiness for anybody other than my kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Do your happiness. Kids come in second place, man. Kids gotta wait. They got iPads and internet. No, I'm fucking with you. Look, this is what we would do. When we had the first, I agree, Josh. That's what we need to do. When we have the first group call conversation, you need to find your ex-husband, and we need to have a group call with you and your ex-husband. We need to have a den discussion.
Fuck you.
Why not? What's wrong with that?
He's so crazy.
Oh man, that's exactly what we need in the den. Then that's what we need to have a show. Everybody call their crazy exes and have a conversation. That'd be the greatest den show ever.
Yeah, it would. Do you have any crazy exes?
That's complicated, right? So
Not no.
it's really complicated. Yeah,
Crazy or not?
I wouldn't say they're crazy. Kinda, maybe. I don't know. Cause like I said, the only got like 2 exes that if we're talking like people actually claim to be dating. So, one of them is married, I think, and then the other one I think is recently divorced. And we're cool, but like the thing about me, like for the most part, I'm still cool with all my exes. Any chick I've ever fucked with, I'm still pretty cool with.
Oh, really?
Except for like one. But that's neither here nor there. I guess if I wanted to be cool, we'd still be cool. I don't give too much of shit. Like, but yeah, like, I mean, there's never really bad blood with me and my exes and shit, or ex
Well, that's good.
affiliations or something. Yeah, you got to keep it
You
kosher.
get along with little baby's mom.
What? Who? What?
Did you see that story? You know, Nivea is the Little Wayne's baby's mom.
Who? Little Wayne's baby's mom.
Like Little Wayne's child's mother.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so she was talking about like, oh yeah, it's like the United Nations. I have to give them props for how good her baby's mom get along. And I'm like, oh my god, that sounds so crazy.
It does sound bad, but women are catty. So I mean, you gotta you gotta make it shake. That's a good question. Ashley, have you ever had a guy sent to jail?
What?
I said, have you ever had a guy sent to jail for any reason whatsoever?
Yeah.
Why was that?
Have I had somebody that's gone to jail?
No, have you ever sent someone to jail, like called the cops on somebody?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just asking.
Why?
No, people in the chat are inquiring, so I ask. People in the chat ask stuff. Every now and then I'm willing to ask some of the crazier
Have I
questions.
had somebody? Have I had someone sent to jail?
Yeah, have you ever called the laws on somebody? Like, have you ever accused anybody of anything that required law enforcement to come and pay them a visit?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just curious.
That's a weird question.
This is a weird place. We're all in a very weird place, right? The den's a very weird place, but I love it. Okay. Was there anything else on your mind that you would like to share with the den folk?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I did. I was going to call in and say something, but whatever. Remember.
So you over there, you over there smoking that chronic? You'd have forgot.
That heavy indica.
Yeah, see, that's what that in the couch. That's what that is.
So is it? So can you guys do medical marijuana out there?
Oh, yeah, we don't have any weed out here. This is Texas.
I wouldn't even be able to live there. That's crazy.
Like, here's the thing. I mean, but the thing about it, but like in Houston, it's like not decriminalized, but like I think you could have up to like 4 ounces, and you
4 ounces? That's like enough to sell.
you might get a ticket. I think that's you can go up to 4 ounces without having to go to jail, and then that's a ticket. You have to take like a little like drug class, and it goes off your record or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not. Come on. This is Texas, so it's like everywhere. If you want it, it's there. So it's not really like a...
Right, but is it good? Is it like that dirt from Mexico, or is it good stuff?
Well, it depends on who you hang out with. But like I said, when I was in action, I basically had a store. Like I say, when you have friends in proper places, you have options. So like when I would go shopping, I mean, I had choices. I'd have, variety.
Right.
Shit, I can't even pronounce. What the fuck is this? Every time I go, what is this? Give me the same shit you had. I ain't even got that same shit no more. What the fuck? What's the shit I wanted? But I'll try this new shit.
I know. It's
So,
like ever changing.
but yeah. So,
Anyways, I could go on and on about this, but that is my call.
say endo. That shit smell like outdo. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Miss Ashley. I appreciate your call and sharing a bit of your life with us.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Oh man, I love the deal. I love y'all. And y'all have to pardon me for eating these pistachios. I'm gonna stop in like 2 minutes. I'm not gonna eat anymore, I promise. But once I start eating them, I cannot fucking help it. They're fucking addicting. I fucking love them. It's very rude. I know it's extremely rude, but I gotta do it. Let's see who we have calling in to the den. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Bad and bougie.
Bad and Bougie. How are you this evening, Miss Bad and Bougie?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Life is good. Now, you said that you had something that was very near and dear to your heart that you wanted to talk about. Could you expand on that, please?
There's a lot I wanted to talk about. Okay, but yeah, the military thing. So, the military, I don't think is a good idea for African American men. I am the daughter of someone who served in the Vietnam War. He was actually died of cancer because the United States sprayed Agent Orange over there to kill the enemy, but also killed their own soldiers as well. There's been a class action suit that's been going on for many years that will probably never be settled because they wait for all the heirs of the veterans. They just keep appealing and appealing. So that's just a little history. I also have a brother that went to the Air Force as well. That strongly agrees with me that it's not a good idea. Having sons, all three of my sons went to college on an athletic scholarship, but one of my sons, he didn't know if he was going to get a scholarship, so he went to the Army recruiter's office to try to, like, if he wasn't going to go to college, I guess the thought came across his little head that he was going to go to the military, which was never going to happen. But anyway, he did this without us knowing. So long story short, the recruiter that he went to actually happened to be somebody that we knew loosely from high school. He went to another high school, but also played sports. And he shared with us a lot of things like that they target boys that, just like my son, who maybe might not get a scholarship or whatever, they make all these promises of college, but rarely do they end up actually getting a bachelor's degree. A lot of the times, the jobs that they give them are with such hours that it's not, conducive to going to school. Or they make promises that they're going to be able to go to school for a certain career, or they're going to be able to, get a certain trade for a certain career in there that they don't hold to. And the testing is very biased. The testing that they give them in order to determine what, career path they're going to put them in. And I just feel that, just from, hearing his stories about, the type of young men they specifically tried to recruit, because they know maybe their lower economic status, or they, may not have the opportunities to go to school, and they promise school, and then rarely do they end up graduating from school. So that's why, even though, I give much respect to people in the military. Like I said, I'm the daughter of somebody who served in the military and ultimately died from going to the Vietnam War. I have a brother that also went to the military. So I It's not that I don't respect what they're doing. I do. I think that it's very, very honorable, but I just don't think that all the honest truth are being put out there about these young men's chances of actually going and getting a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or something, that when they get out. I just think they need to be more honest with them.
And I can understand that, but and I'm not a military person. Even when I was in school, I didn't really give a shit about any of that shit. I didn't even think I was going to college. I was surprised the offers that I got, and I still barely did that. That's a whole other story. But anyway, but what I mean, I don't see an issue personally when you talk about lower socioeconomic status. So what I mean by that is you got a lot of people who are in a situation, and again, yes, they may lie, but I think there are opportunities that are afforded to some of these people. I've known some guys who were from some very interesting areas, neighborhoods, or whatever you want to call it, that ended up going to the military, and actually, they say, hey, you know what? It was the best thing that happened to them. And I have partners too that say, it was terrible. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. It wasn't this. But they talked about being able to travel. They talked about benefits and other things. And again, everything wasn't peachy cream, but as compared to staying where they were and not really having many other options, and again, losing friends and homeboys in your own same neighborhood, why not go almost do the same shit if you're almost at the same level of risk and get some benefits in the end of it, 4 years later or whatever else it may be, or have the opportunity to do such a thing. And again, I think today's military is different, but, to get those disciplines and things that you may not have had, depending on what type of household you were raised up in, I don't think it's an across the board thing. I think it's built for some people, others not so much. I think you have some of these kids, some of these young men who are, maybe hard heads, and, that's a way for them to utilize that in maybe a more productive manner. Because if they were to stay home and, again, keep running with the same crews they were running with and keep doing the same shit they were doing, they're going to end up somewhere else where you get no benefits and you're going to serve a lot more time with no bonus at the end of it. So, again, I think it's more of an individual thing. I don't think across the board, I wouldn't just say, it's not for blacks, not for white, or whoever else it may be. Because, like I say, I've seen both sides of the story. Like I say, I got homeboys who said they would never do it again if they'd have known better. Kind of said similar things that you said. They were lied to, or they were told this, that, and the third. And I know I have homeboys that went, even later in life and said, hey, it was one of the better things that happened to them. So I think it just depends on your scenario. I think it depends on your personality, and I think it's just kind of the outcome you're seeking. But even with some of these, if it wasn't for the military, and you're talking about getting masters and bachelors and things like that, what is the likelihood of those individuals, if they weren't getting those same degrees without the military, what's the likelihood of them achieving that?
No, I agree. Like, for some, like one of my son's friends actually did go, and I think he left right after high school. Yeah, that's about 5 years ago. Like, he was getting out or whatever. But and I think for him, he was on a road of, he had gotten into some small little crimes, but was in and out of juvenile hall or what have you. And for him, it has turned out to be great. He's now a married man. He's taking care of his family. And I think that he did need that discipline. So, yeah, I agree with you. For some, if this is the best option for them, then definitely, do what you have to do. But again, he did say that, he's still in school because he did not get the degree that he thought he was going to get, the travel that he had to do which he did have an interesting job there that allowed him to get a nice income now. But the traveling that he had to do for his career was not conducive to going to school. So he ended up doing a couple of years, but not getting his full bachelor's. He's still trying to do that. But for him, like you said, yeah, it is a good decision for some. I'm just saying, from the information that I know, just from talking to this person who actually gave me some insight on how they recruit and who they recruit, maybe some of these people could have did something different, but whatever. But I do agree with you on that.
I mean, and the thing is, like, And I understand exactly what you're saying, but I think that's probably the best person to recruit. Because think about it, if you go after somebody who has options and you're telling them, well, hey, look, there's a possibility you might go to war. There's a possibility you could lose, like very small percentage. You're going to do some hard work, and or you could go to college if you got a scholarship or your parents can pay for it or whatever else. The likelihood of you targeting those people is probably going to get a much smaller percent than going after people say, hey, well, look, you ain't got shit going on for you here. What you want to do, you can go travel the world. You can go fuck with some old foreign strange every now and then. You can get your degree. You can sell them all this shit because it all sounds so much better than what they got going on. And
right.
And so that's what I mean. As far as I guess I don't know if you want to call it marketing or targeting or what you're going to push this, who you're going to push this towards. Because I think some people the patriotism angle works for some people, but at the same time, I think you have to kind of target that demographic. I think that's where you're going to get the best percentage. That's where you're going to get the best results because they don't have some of the same options to look forward to. So I would understand why they would.
And then I wanted to speak on a little bit about the women using like the son like their man or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, I've seen this like so many times, and I'm like, you know what? Listen, okay. Do you remember the? I think it was the comedian, girl or what have you, and she posed a nude picture with her son. Do you remember that?
It wasn't just
hopefully
hilarious.
Somebody in the chat remembers that.
But I do remember that it wasn't just hilarious. It was one of them though.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I don't want to say the person's name because I honestly don't know the person's name. But it was some lady, up and coming, star, what have you. I don't know her name. Sorry if I used the wrong name. But anyway, she did a naked picture with her son, and I just feel like, and I don't want to put down single moms in any way. They do an amazing job. You know what I'm saying? However, these ones that are dressing these little babies up with dressing them like grown men and kissing them in the mouth and saying, this is the man of my house. And I feel like you're doing your child an injustice because you're not letting them just live their full childhood. You know what I'm saying? You're what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? That's sick. You need to go out and find you a nigga. I mean, I'm sorry.
Speak on it.
No, but I'm just saying, and then the whole, kissing them in the mouth and, let them enjoy that as an innocent boy with a girl for the first time. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like they're taking away their sons, you telling this boy he's a man of the house and he's 4. I just feel like why are you taking away their childhood? Are you dressing them up like a grown man? Are you taking naked pictures? Isn't that something you should let him explore? You know what I'm saying? As that time comes, I feel like I don't know, it's kind of pathetic. It really is.
And it was just hilarious who did that.
Oh, it was? Okay. I just don't like the way that they're taking away their innocence or they're making them try to grow up too fast. Kids already grow up really fast. They don't need to be, put in those positions that, I don't know. It's just sick. Yeah, I have 3 boys, and I would never... No, that's not my role. That's not my place as a mother.
So what does that say in your opinion? Do you think that has anything to do with maybe them not having that father figure, and that maybe translating to something else, or them not having that, or maybe that love from a male figure in their life, and so they're searching desperately?
That's exactly what I think it is. I think that you need to go out and find you a man. I don't know. What? I think you lonely, bitch, and you need to go find somebody, but don't do that to your baby. Yeah, that's what I think it is. I don't know about the father figure part. Maybe that as well, but I just feel like Yeah, they probably lonely. I mean, I just think women that do that, they probably are lonely. Because if you got first of all, if you have a man in your home, he's going to be like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't going to be taking no naked picture with your son if
no.
they daddy's in the household.
Nonsense.
And you're not going to be, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you're not going to be dressing him up like a little man and kissing him all in the mouth. Because if it's daddy, you're going to be like, don't be kissing him in the mouth. He's 6 years old or he's 10 years old or, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if they had that male influence in the house, they wouldn't even probably be doing that type of stuff.
I agree.
So clearly I feel like, yes, they need to, get a man to fill that void. And, I mean, they're everywhere. They're not hard to find. Just don't do that to your child, though.
Yeah, I agree. 'Cause ain't no way I would stand for no shit. Like we'd have some issues, and we'd have to have a family meeting immediately. Cause this shit ain't gonna shake. That's look. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, but like if it was a man in the house, he'd be like, "Baby, what are you doing? Don't be kissing him in the mouth. He's 15. Your man would check you on that, and that just shows like that. And that's the sad part, though, about households today. It's a lot of fathers, aren't injecting their authority into their child's life. Whether they're together or not together, you're still supposed to do it, and, making sure that, their boy is raised, as he should be. But all this dressing them up like grown-ass men and, like,
Yeah, I agree. So let's see. Somebody disagrees. So you're saying, the line is open. I see. It seems like a young lady disagrees. I would like to see the opposite side of that.
Yeah.
I'd like to. This is the den. Let's look. I'm hoping Miss Foster calls. I would love to hear your views on that. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that, Miss Bad and Bougie?
No, that was it. Nice talking to you. I will be in the chat waiting to hear what Miss Foster has to say.
Oh, well, all right. As always, I enjoy talking to Girl 6, and it's good to hear from you. It's been a little bit. But I got my $3.99 a minute ready. It's all good. But it's good to hear from you, Miss Bad and Bougie, and hopefully I'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Miss Foster, I would love for you to call in and share your thoughts on that, why you feel differently. That is interesting and intriguing. I personally think that there's a no-go zone, and it's too much of it. Because again, the children don't know. Their children don't know what's going on. I think that we do stuff in. Yeah, I want to see. Let's fire it up. Look, do we got to get a conference call going? Only one client relation. Let me. Who I need to talk to? I need to call HR. What's the problem? What's going down? What is the issue that we need to resolve? Hey, where's Miss Parker? Look now, let me chill. Miss Parker probably old as hell by now. Miss Parker Friday came out a long ass time ago, so let me chill. I don't know. She might still be right though. Miss Parker might have aged well. I don't know. I'm gonna look this shit up after the stream. I'm gonna find out. So, I would just like to know. I'd like to see the other side of that argument. Why you feel that there's nothing wrong with moms taking nude pictures with their children. They're just hilarious. But you looking at the just hilarious kid like that little nigga was old shit. You know what I'm saying? That little nigga was kind of old. If you look at that fucking, I ain't finna put the shit up. I mean, I don't know. I think it might violate. It might not. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's our favorite Chicago and Rashida. What's good?
Oh, I thought that was Chicago Mike, but Miss Rashida, how you doing this evening? I'm fucking with you. How you doing, Miss Rashida? How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. I ain't gonna stay on here too long since you obviously didn't want to take my call because I was on hold
What
and
are
I had
you?
to call back in.
No, people have been telling me that. I don't know why tonight what's been going down. But obviously, because I had another text, and I'm glad you said that. 'Cause someone texted me. I need to read Unbeat's text too, because apparently it's been
I
cutting
think
people
you
off.
need to switch back to the old DN line. I don't pay that bill because this new system, this shit ain't working for me. Call in, be on hold, ain't nobody on the line, and still on hold now.
No,
Some ain't working. And you ain't getting none of my texts out of I be sending you everything.
let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Do I got some text from Rashid to read? I don't see nothing. Let me see.
Of
What.
course you don't, because I ain't sent none lately. But I'm just saying.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Um, I can't fool with you. So how's the teacher strike going?
Man, they need to tear their ass back to school and take their bad kids back in the school in the classroom with them. Shit. This shit is ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that. I heard they have a lot of interesting demands. Oh, Miss Parker's still right. I'm gonna have to check it out. DeMarkey, there's an accusation that you are an undercover agent. Is that true? I need to know. Yep, y'all profile pics look similar. I heard you.
Well, if you want to call in, she better call in while I'm on the line because, the DN line closed at 12. She ain't going to be able to get through.
You heard me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but here, yeah, she did give me pressure. True.
The only thing I really want to say is that people just want to hear what they want to hear. They just want you to co-sign they bullshit. They don't want real advice. Because you give them the real, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to listen to you, nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't tell you how many times I've been kicked out of Facebook groups for giving my real, honest opinion.
What?
Yeah, they kicked me out. Time out. I didn't have to be so harsh. Only thing I did was told the lady she was dumb and stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this man keep cheating on you and you talking about what can you do to make your relationship better. You can leave. That's what you can do, leave.
And they don't want to hear that.
Right. They don't want to hear leave. They want how to fix it. They want you to cuddle them and coddle them and make them feel better about a dead situation. Leave that dead weight alone.
Right.
Come out. That man been out of work a whole year and paying all the bills and he be at home watching the Xbox and how can you inspire him to do more and help you and it does be a lot of bullshit.
Well, I mean, he might be training to be a professional video gamer. So what she need to do is buy him some more video games
Just making some money.
and get him an elite controller, and then just she got to inspire, motivate his. He might be a professional Madden player in the making. You know what I'm saying? So she got to. He got to sponsor that man dream. She got to flew him out. She got to flew him out to all the tournaments so he can compete. She got to really get behind that man's dreams. She want that man to be a winner. They say behind every strong man is a great woman. So she got to, she got to get greater. It get greater later. So she got to flew that man out to the contest. She got to get him a rental car, all that good stuff, so he can get around. Get him a hotel room while he out of town, so he can have some video game groupies. All that. Inspire that man. Let that man know you want him to be great. Let me stop
now,
the nonsense.
This sound like a bunch of bullshit.
I'm telling
anyway,
I'm trying to give you the motivation situation.
That's like if he was really a competitive gamer. Now, he ain't no competitive gamer. He's just a lazy bum laying up on her while she working 40 to 60 hours a week trying to make ends meet.
But if she keep motivating, if she telling him he's really good, he could be good enough to compete, then that might change his perspective.
And then, at least if you at home, at least cook, clean, do the shit, a person at home supposed to do. She still got to come home, take care of the kids, cook, do everything. No fuck. Drop his ass off at his mom's house with his 3 garbage bags full of shit and his game and his dog too.
And damn, the dog and the game. Oh man,
yes, the dog got to go too. Yes, man. Yes, sir, my man.
That's tough. That's tough. I think you got beef with dog. You already telling me how you put a hit out on the next door dog. So I think you just got beef with the dog. The dog might be protecting the household more so than the man. The man might not be protecting the house. The dog might be doing a job. Since he ain't gonna do it, if he ain't gonna get off the game, he gonna be stuck. And dog gotta alert people.
No, you got to put the man and the dog out because the dog don't even tell you shit the man be doing. He know he be bringing bitches to your house, and the dog could let you know woof woof or let you know something.
You know the dog gonna let you. You seen the meme. The dog letting folks. In 2019, the dog's letting you know. You seen the meme. The pit bull in the window.
The dog supposed to fight her and him. That's what he's supposed to do. Supposed to protect the house. He's right.
But see now the dogs and got smart in 2019. They know that they pressing charges on the dogs. They don't want to get they don't want to get sent to the pound. The dog bites somebody, they gonna get their shots. They gonna put them to sleep. So the dog, they just snitching nowadays. They don't bite. They bark a little bit. They come in the room and let you know something funny going on. You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts?
Well, go ahead.
I'm saying, what are your thoughts on what we were talking about earlier about the women posing nude with their children? How do you feel about that?
No, I thought that was wrong. I thought stuff like that you keep in your personal. It's too many perverts out here to have your kid out there naked on social media. I just don't like it. But it's not my chat. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing wrong with the picture per se. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a personal thing that you should keep in your own home. You know what I'm saying? It's not, everything you do is not for social media. Like people, I don't know why they feel this need to put every damn thing on social media. You discipline your child. Your child did something wrong. Like it was his father or something. He caught his daughter, doing in the act of sex with some boy, and he beat her on tape or something. Or I think he beat her later on. Like, okay, I understand your frustration, but you don't have to videotape everything. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you videotape the evidence that can be used against you. You know what I mean? So stop the dump. It's just dumb,
Right, bust that ass and tell them it was a deep fake. They did that facial swap shit. That wasn't me. She got her ass beat. I don't know who beat her ass, but it wasn't me on the camera. But I agree with you. Certain shit. That's what I'm saying.
What, the issue I have with some single mothers is that they raising the men that they don't want. You know what I mean? These they coddling them. They not letting them be mean. They letting them live off of them. And then when he gets wrong, and then he go looking for a woman he can leech off of and everything like that. That's problematic. You know what I'm saying? But he already had that instilled with him. Oh, I got to get my baby the new Jordans and the new baby ain't worked a day in his life. You know what I'm saying? They got to put more male role models, or you don't just put more get up and go into them or something. You know what I'm saying? Not sit back and let mommy go work 40, 50 hours so she can come home and spoil you.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they go out in the world and then looking for a woman that's gonna do the same. Or they don't want to be the provider in the home. They want to talk about 50-50 and, all this other kind of non-traditional stuff. But at the same time, that, like I said, they are raising the men that they don't want. Okay. I mean, you raising a fuckboy pretty much for somebody else.
So that's the situation that you see. So you think that even though the women are upset and they mad about it, they're perpetuating the situation?
Yeah, most definitely. And then you have some of them that go as far as say, well, if a woman hit my son, he got the right to knock her ass. Like that's just some of the stupidest shit. Like shit I've ever heard.
No, damn that.
Like,
look, equal rights, equal fights. Goddamn.
You have the right to defend yourself, but not take it to the extreme where he beat her down.
Nah, he hit her with all the uppercuts, the jabber cuts, the left rights, the karate kick.
But what I'm saying is, then he becomes more abusive, and then like that one particular mother or whatever, if she's in a relationship, that man might have had a mother like her and told her son, if a man hits you, to knock the shit and beat the shit out of you. Then you wonder why you sitting up there black and blue. That's what I'm saying. We perpetuate the same kind of book. It's like recycled goods. It's like it just goes in the shit.
But Rashida, see, but we living in a new day and age because women can have penises too, and men can have vaginas, and so now with all the genders being all the same gender, we have to respect that. And look, I'm talking shit and I'm bullshitting, but now,
But have you heard about the transgender people? The transgender women didn't want the symbol of a woman on. It was some kind of product.
on the always
Like,
pads
really
on the
going too
yeah.
far.
Oh man, look, I was gonna talk, but we gonna probably talk about this because I'll be trying to. We get into that trans conversation often. And I'll be honest, man. I be trying to.
People that think we homophobic, transphobic,
Yeah, you know.
homophobic.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
know.
not even like that. It's just a difference of opinion.
Yeah, it's just the
And
shit don't
people
make
feel
sense.
like if you have a difference of opinion, you can't say nothing. I'm say what the fuck I want to say.
No,
Ain't nobody gonna stop me from saying what I want to say.
no.
And it is what it is.
That's
Why do I
just
have
hilarious.
to be quiet? But they can say whatever they want to say.
Exactly.
That's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah, that's the crazy shit. Like I'm just supposed to believe and buy into your make believe world because you say so because it makes you feel okay. There's no legitimate backing behind anything you say, but we don't want to offend such a tiny percent of the population that we can't say this and we can't say that. Man, fuck that. You know, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
They've been allowed to accumulate wealth, and wealth is power. Money is power. That's really why the gay agenda is allowed to be pushed because of money. Yeah,
what do y'all see?
I don't understand how. I don't really understand how they can say they so oppressed when a lot of gay people have a lot of money.
Yeah,
When you have money, you can't really be oppressed like that, like a regular person.
But here's the thing though.
No.
But yeah, it was them always. It was I think them whatever menstrual pads or whatever, and they and what they said is because it had that female sign. What is it, the circle with the little downward cross, lowercase t or whatever? They were saying that's oppressive. Because what about
Right,
what
something like that. Exactly.
what about the ones who are transitioning into men? They still have period, like, and then somebody out there tweeting all genders can have periods, and they talking about like, don't shut y'all goofy ass up. Look,
Oh my goodness, when is this gonna end?
Never.
When is this bullshit gonna end?
it'll never end until we all get wiped out, and then this motherfucker start all the way over. Ain't nobody on this bit. It's never gonna end. It's only gonna get worse because the media's gonna push it. There's so many crazy people who are getting attention simply because of sexuality. All right. Here's my thing. I don't care what you do. I don't care the fuck what you do, as long as you do it in your bedroom. The fact that we're promoting, that's disgusting, Jay. I don't want to eat no more. But the fact that we're promoting people's behaviors simply because of their sexual habits or their sexual beliefs, we're giving them credit, or they're brave, or they're strong because they doing whatever abnormal stuff that they're doing in public. That's disgusting, man. Well, and like
What I don't like is how we want to make sexual orientation almost like it's another race. It's not a fucking race. It's just your sexual orientation, which is only a part of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not when they gonna have like black. Are you black, white, gay, Latino? I mean, what's up? I mean, it's doing too much. It
But the funny thing about it is INF Storms is that it started out with the feminists have nobody to blame but themselves. Because it started out a feminist issue, right? It started out a feminist issue, and then these other, they start taking up, and then it became the trans issue, and then now the trans situation, that whole trans situation, it doesn't hurt men. Because nobody's worried about competing with a woman turned into a man. You can take all that testosterone you want. That ain't changing shit. But the thing that is the problem is now they're trying to take all the women's spaces. You got the trans cyclists who just won and broke a bunch of women's awards. You got the runners in Connecticut or whatever that just broke all the women's awards. Oh, you talking about the?
And don't forget Caitlyn.
Yeah,
won
Caitlyn.
Fourth Woman of the Year. None of the accomplishments that she made was during the time when they was transgender. But you took that from my girl Serena that earned her shit. Been out there working, hustling, grinding, doing everything she can to be on top of her game. And then you just come with this I'm transgender bullshit, and then they gonna hand you an award. They should have gave you Trans Woman of the Year award. See, they need to start making separate categories for these people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not with this, a trans woman and a woman competing. No, because you still biologically a man. You still got testosterone in you and all that other kind of shit that men got in them. You're not no woman. You're not a woman.
Well, exactly.
And I don't care. I don't care what transgenders in the den is mad. If you mad, you mad. Just don't come text me.
Do we have transgenders in the den? I don't know. I don't think we've ever had it. If they have, they've lurked and left.
I doubt ever had any the way people think that we transphobic and homophobic. I think they'll leave.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, I had that one video. I still need to follow up to it. They was mad. I was polite and I was respectful. They was very.
They was mad at you. They thought you was so disrespectful. And that what you wasn't even disrespectful. You didn't even say nothing that was wrong.
Exactly. I'm probably more disrespectful in the lives than I was on that video. They just, again, it's one of them situations people just don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they know the truth, but they just want to turn a blind eye to it. Like I said, that person was out there hooking. It wasn't no crime because they was just transgender, which I'm pretty sure the 20 transgender deaths, the murders that have happened this year, I want to know how many of them were out there hooking or overly sexually active and dishonest with their sexuality. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason. People ain't out there just wiping people out like just because. Now, old buddy, that one, might have been a thing because he was cuckoo, but still, you out there on the stroll, putting yourself in a highly dangerous situation. I'm sure regular street walking hookers are in a highly dangerous situation too. I'm sure that you probably got a number of deaths in that, but nobody's talking about that because, it's expected. It is what it is. But when you add these little caveats, trans plus this plus that, the black trans, and then the one in the stage set up at CNN, that shit was fake as fuck. Black trans are dying, and then you look to see this year how many trans have been murdered? 20. That's such a low number for any demographic. What is 20? 2 a year? Right. This is October, so not to dismiss it, it's unfortunate. I'm not going to make light of anybody's death. But if you said, 20 black people have died this year, nobody would give a shit. 20 children have died. Like, more people than that happened in the damn Walmart situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so at one time, and so my thing is just like, come on, man. Like, it's unfortunate, but again, a lot of the dying and stuff that you're crying about is y'all are committing suicide because there has to be an underlying mental struggle going on there. And I think it's more of a mental thing going on than the sexual thing. You get mad about the men's feet and women's shoes. I'm done.
Did you see that video about that transgender that performed oral on that pastor in the church? And then he couldn't pay her, so she took his phone. And then she gave him his phone back. Did you see that video?
I heard nothing about it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I just saw that today. They didn't have actual footage of her doing the act. They had footage of the first. I'm just saying this pastor that I had from them.
Yeah, the pastor's the one we need to be worried about.
So, well, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get to my other videos. The guy I was telling you about, they had the threesome with the two brothers in prison.
Man, I don't want to know nothing about this. No, I don't need to know nothing about that.
He done released some new videos, so I got to go check that out.
Well, you go check that out, but I'm telling you in the wrong section of Pornhub, so I don't.
No, it's not Pornhub. He just tells his story. He don't show actual footage.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know the story. I don't want to hear the story, see the story. No, I'm done with that. Well, Miss Rashida, I appreciate your call. You go enjoy that to the fullest. And I'll talk to you next time.
Professor Trill, I ain't spoke to you in a minute. So how you doing, Professor Trill? And, okay, well, good night to everybody else in the den.
Really.
Professor Trill, what you mean, stop it? I wasn't finna tell no story because Honcho already told me he didn't want to hear that shit. So I'm going to respect his show. But if anybody want any details, just hit my inbox. I'll let you know the stories that I heard.
What a world. See, this why the world coming to the way it is. You encouraging the behavior.
Yeah, Ronald Ashley, you know what's up. Yeah, girl, I got to go check out. I'm on part 7 now. I got to go check out part 7.
This shit worse than Trapped in the Closet from R. Kelly. Miss Rashid, I appreciate your call.
Why you always doing me like this?
Man, you know.
I don't know nothing. I just be calling in. That's all. That's all. You treat me like. And give me my pistachios too.
I do owe quite a few pistachios. I got you. I got your pistachios.
Hey, Miss Bell, how you doing?
This is tough. This is terrible stuff. Some of the worst stuff I've ever heard in my life. All right, Miss Rashida, I appreciate you calling in, and I will be talking to you soon.
What you say, Ronald Ashley? You want me to drop one of them stories on you? Okay. Well.
Where's this red
now
button?
you finna hang up now.
I got the finger on the red button for the pull of Kenneth.
I see you. I'm gone though for real.
All right, Miss Rashida, I appreciate it.
All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Whew. We were doing so well. We were doing so well. I got a text message to read from Unbeaten. He said he was calling in earlier, but the deadline kept cutting him off. I got to figure out what's going on if he's still doing that 4-minute hang-up thing. It said, it's Unbeaten. The deadline is hanging up while I'm on hold. It says, people want to hear what they want to hear. People want validation for the stupid shit they do, so they often look for outside validation. When someone tells them what they don't want to hear, they shut it down. Simple as that. It's hard to change a person's mind who doesn't want their mind changed. And I agree with that 100%. And why I say that is because, and I say this often, that's why I say, like, even when we have people call in, and sometimes I'll argue, sometimes I listen, sometimes I ask a lot of questions. But there's always a method to my madness. And so, changing a person's opinion is the most difficult thing that you will ever see or ever do. And so, you know, why is that though? Why isn't it that more women come forth and say, you know, well, because you have a lot of women who support this stuff, who support a lot of these things. But like I say, changing somebody's opinion is the hardest thing in the world to ever do. Now, here's my thing. I think that it should be 3 types of bathrooms, you know. Should be a bathroom, you know, you should have your unisex or whatever. So whatever you are, we are the world, we are the children. That's that bathroom. Then you got a bathroom with a fucking dick on it. You know if you got one or you don't. If you look at that shit and say, oh, I ain't got that, you're in the wrong bathroom. You look down, you got one of them, you go in that bathroom. Then you got a bathroom with a motherfucking, I don't know, how would you draw that? And I have a bathroom with a snatch on it. Or that snapper on it. Got one of those, you get to go in that bathroom. That's how it works. Anybody with the wrong equipment in the wrong bathroom, instant jail time. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's how it should work. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. But my thing is this, man. My thing is this. I have no problem with anybody. I think everybody deserves a certain level of respect for being beings, but you don't get praise. And respect is just. Let me change that from respect. Maybe dignity might be a better word, as it depends on how you view the term respect. Like there's a certain level of dignity that I guess being a human being deserves. I wouldn't treat a homeless person any kind of way You know, you don't treat the janitor any different than you treat the CEO. That type of situation. But that's when the caveats come in. I'm not going to respect and honor and praise you because you have some confusion going on. That's where we're like, this is what y'all got to understand why this country is going downhill. I'm going to wrap it up shortly after this. Do you see the people that we put on the pedestal, right? The people we put on the pedestal, the youth who have no experience, who don't know anything, who are just living their lives crazy and just doing kind of whatever willy-nilly. So people without experience, without life advice, without that. So we praise youth. We worship youth in this country. So we worship a lack of experience when you should be praising the elders, the people who have been through things, the people who have knowledge of life. Because it's the same shit. There's nothing new under the sun. 2, we can praise the confused, the people who are unstable. We give them honor, respect, and praise for, you know, being this, that, and third. People who don't know what they are, can't figure out what it is that they're doing. We praise these people. I'm not saying that we should be embarrassing them, not saying that we should be negating them or anything like that, but they shouldn't be praised and put on a pedestal for what? We put people on a pedestal for promiscuity. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's the problem. Like, we do all this stuff that are more flaws and vices than benefits, pluses, and quality standards of living. You know, so that's why I say this country is backwards, because again, you have a certain segment of this population who still has those, you know, those standards that still operates, you know, with that mindset. But the majority of this country, and more every day, you know, are going to the wrong side. And what it is, they're being deceived because the things that they're playing, a lot of these groups are playing on, are things that people are most sensitive to. They're playing to your race. We'll see. It was because of this. It's racist that's happening. There are certain incidents that are racist, but everything that's going on is not a racial incident. But people want to use that. We promote the victims. We promote victimhood, and again, and that's a sad thing. And so the problem is that we have to, if things are ever going to get back the way that they should be, you got to get back to the point where toughness is appreciated, where what's the word I'm looking for? Not endurance, but perseverance is appreciated. You know, things like that. But instead, it's just anything that's abnormal. We're catering to, again, a small percentage of the population is upsetting the masses. To me, that doesn't fucking make sense. Everything, everywhere you go, something's transgendered, something's fucking non-binary. We got to put it in the video games. We got to put it in this, and we got to put it in that. Again, to appease a small group. Everything's got to be woke. Everything has to be. People are mad. Video game journalists are mad because, well, this game isn't talking about, today's societal issues. Like, who gives a fuck? I want to get on a fucking game and shoot shit. I want to go on an adventure if I'm going to play, or whatever the purpose of the game is. I don't need this to be a fucking essay on society's struggles. Like, I just want to enjoy myself. Again, but now we can't offend anybody. We don't want to. Guess what? If you don't offend anybody, you're going to end up falling off the map pretty shortly. Because if you spend your whole day, make sure I don't say this and I don't say that and I don't do this, you don't got time to make progress because you're too busy worried about being stagnant, to not upset the apple cart. You know how progress is made? Do you know how societies grow and they're built? By upsetting the status quo. Now, you have a group of people who are doing that in a backwards ass way because nobody benefits from it. It just creates more confusion. And people want to be a part of the confusion because you got a lot of people who are confused as to who they are. Because they've never had to overcome anything. They never had to achieve anything because they've been coddled so much. And a lot of this, I talk about the daycare generation. I talk about now the TV, electronic generation, where you don't challenge kids anymore. I talk about rites of passage, and there are none. So when you don't overcome, you don't challenge yourself, you don't figure out who you are to grow and become better than what you are, you're going to remain childlike and confused for the rest of your fucking life, or until you have that experience that allows you to realize, oh, should I have this shit open the whole time? Until you have that experience that allows you to realize that you got to deal with shit. Like sometimes everything doesn't go your way. That's the problem. It's like I was talking about earlier about people being friends with their kids, raising these kids to think that everybody has to be your friend, or everybody has to like everything you like, and you raise these spoiled little bastards, and then when the world don't go their way, they cry and throw hissy fits. Because if you look at a lot of these people, what do? They're not really fighting anything. They're not really overcoming. They just cry. They get on social media, get a bunch of other people to cry with them. And these companies think, oh, we're going to lose money if we don't appeal. Those people don't spend money with you anyway. That small percentage of people ain't spending no money. They just want something to fucking complain about, and they're going to find the next thing to fucking complain about that they don't spend money with, that they don't buy, that they don't shop with. These fucking companies need to stop bending. Like, every company that bends to the whim of these people makes the situation worse and worse and worse. And then you have all these people who aren't even a part of this group. But yeah, you're oppressing these people. No, the fuck you're not. These people are oppressing you, And it's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. Like I said, it's a weird fucking world we living in, man. And again, I don't know. I'm gonna keep on trucking, but I don't want to play those games. I didn't sign up for this, so I'm not. I can't do it. And I realize the platforms that I utilize to talk and put these messages out and all these other things is they're a part of the problem in a sense. That's why you have to toe the line in certain ways. But trust me, there's a lot of things I really want to say. And one day, get on the right platform. I'm gonna have the right things put together, and the den will be in the right way, and y'all will really get to hear some of the things that I would like to speak on. Oh man, there's some shit I would really just love to say, but trust me, I realize where I'm at and I realize what I'm on. But man, it's about that time. I gotta get ready to wind it down. I gotta get up earlier here in just a second, and I gotta get ready to wrap it up, man. I'm fucking tired, I'm not gonna lie. I'm fucking getting up early and doing a bunch of shit, so it's tough. It's tough. But I appreciate y'all, man. I thank y'all. I'm finna call it a night. Dear folk, y'all the greatest folk. I gotta come up with a snazzy kiss line. I'm kicking y'all out and shit. But appreciate all of you for being here. I appreciate the fucking ears hot and shit. Shit, they ain't gonna do nothing but take the rule book and say this is disrespectful. This is hating us. They're doing this and they're doing that. So there's that. And I wouldn't say it's fear. Just I'm aware of how the game is being played, and so until the playing field is leveled, by my own accord, I just have to play by the rules, right? I have to play by the rules until I've set up the proper systems to support my actions. Because if I got too crazy with the message now, well, they cut it off. Nobody hears the message. Got to start from scratch again. But with that being said, make sure you're following the Den Show on all the proper social medias and things of that nature. I can't even click right. I'm out of there. Den Show Live on all the dilly dallies. They finna start. They're gonna add some new amendments on y'all. But look, as much as y'all don't like Trump, and a lot of people, I'm telling you, Y'all better hope he gets another fucking 4 years or somebody. Because as soon as that other side get in, trust me, y'all think it's some shit now, it's gonna be a sweeping wave of change. And they gonna make sure that shit happens rapidly and quickly. So if you're not with the program, you gotta think about what you support the most and what you don't. With that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you all. I'm gone, man. I'm gone. I'm gonna go straight to bed. I'm out of here. Hootie hoo!